Man, oh man, if CM Punk and him being in War Games didn't make any sense to you 2 weeks ago, I think it makes sense after what we saw tonight. Roman Reigns and CM Punk had a face-to-face sit-down, very Mafia-esque, very Goodfellas-esque. And they sold you on Survivor Series tonight. And I, for one, can't wait. I'm excited. Outside that, we got another tournament, United States Championship qualifying match. Who goes to the semifinals? Shinsuke Nakamura and LA Knight. Not a good night for Mr. LA. And Cody Rhodes went one-on-one with Carmelo Hayes. Outside the CM Punk and Roman Reigns sit down, there wasn't really much to dive into on Friday Night SmackDown, but I'll tell you what, man, we're going to the venue tonight. I'm going to dive headfirst into an old-fashioned. And we're going to drink them cold tonight on this Friday night, the go-home show for Survivor Series. And when I get there and walk through those doors, I want to know, what the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there.
Why has Triple H been so successful? Why is Triple H running WWE better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard on Monday and Friday night? Long-term booking.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your Friday Night SmackDown post show for November 29th, 2024. I am your host, JD from New York. As always, coming to you live from the OTS venue inside my mother's basement. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on your Friday evenings, wherever you may be, man. SmackDown tonight. Go-home show before tomorrow's tremendous Survivor Series War Games. SmackDown didn't really do much of anything to add on top of what we're getting tomorrow night at Survivor Series outside of the most anticipated sit-down, I would say, between two superstars, maybe all year in WWE, and that is Roman Reigns and CM Punk. The first time that both men have come face to face with words verbally this year in 2024, and the first time since CM Punk returned to the WWE legitimately 1 year ago at Survivor Series in 2023 at Chicago at the end of last year's War Games. We're going to get into it. I'm not going to give you guys the traditional cold open. I'm going to save all my thoughts for the dialogue when we get to CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Paul Heyman, who sat down in between, very Mafia style. The cinematic way that WWE shoots these things is tremendous. And I do think that it's going to be and should be a trend in all of professional wrestling, man. WWE certainly has done a great job with these cinematic vignettes and these sit-downs, these real-life adaptations between performer and performer. And it's centered around Roman Reigns specifically. The last time we saw something like this in this cinematic way was when they met at the 50-yard line in Georgia right before Bad Blood, and they met at Georgia Tech University. So they are shooting these vignettes, and Jeremy Borash, I do believe, is the one spearheading this. I think Paul Levesque and Paul Heyman obviously had a lot to do with what we saw then. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same individuals here for CM Punk and Roman Reigns. The way this thing was shot was tremendous. It certainly reminded me of The Godfather or Casino or Goodfellas or some type of mafia flick. And I thought what they did was tremendous. It was a tremendous piece of business. It was 5 minutes where you legitimately put your phone down, stop what you're doing, and you had to listen to everything that these guys had to say. The energy jumped off the screen with both of these guys. So I love what's going on here. And I think any doubt that WWE potentially brought to some people, oh, CM Punk, I don't think he belongs in the War Games situation with the Bloodline. I would have rather kept it 4-on-4. I don't think it makes sense. I don't think CM Punk being included makes sense. I think they put all those doubters to bed tonight. And I think CM Punk and his inclusion in War Games is now number one going into tomorrow. And I do think that the tension between both Roman and CM Punk is going to be amplified tomorrow. And a story, like we already discussed, there are 5 or 6 different ways that this could go. And we discussed that all on Monday during the Raw post show. We discussed it on Tuesday with Tuesday Night Titans and the Solid Monster. There's a lot of different ways that they could go with this. And I am very, very excited to see what happens with CM Punk now included on Bloodline OG for War Games against Solo Sikoa's Bloodline. And that was just a tremendous piece of business. Other than that, SmackDown didn't really do much to excite me. And I'm being honest with you guys, this was not a good show. You could, again, and I understand that WWE gave the performers off for the holiday. They were traveling today, and they got Thanksgiving home with the families. So Survivor Series is tomorrow, and this was a taped show from last week's show. And because of the Thanksgiving holiday and the taped environment, as you guys know, it felt like it. It sounded like it. It was dubbed like a tape show. So there wasn't really any substantial energy jumping off the TV screen tonight like you usually see during a live broadcast. Piped in crowd noise, pre-recorded lines by Michael Cole. Everything just felt very secondary. And they didn't really do too much, being that it was a tape show and that basically everything is set going into Survivor Series, and they didn't really have to do much of anything. Punk and Roman wasn't even in front of a live audience. They taped that, I'm sure, last week and then spliced it into the show. But outside that, there wasn't really anything else on this Friday Night SmackDown to get anybody excited. Cody Rhodes wrestled. Non-title match against Carmelo Hayes. Fine match for what it was, but it was just a continuation of what happened last week with Carmelo Hayes and Cody Rhodes after that tremendous one-on-one promo face-to-face with Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes. And when Cody Rhodes went to the back, Carmelo Hayes was snickering to his buddies, one of which was Giovanni Vinci, and he snickered under his breath that Kevin Owens is right, and Cody Rhodes overheard him. And Carmelo Hayes basically stood his ground and said, everybody in the locker room is talking about how Kevin Owens is the right one in this situation. So there was a big scuffle backstage, and, we got a match this week between the two based off what happened there. So that's basically what that was. TV time filled, Cody Rhodes on TV. WWE got what they needed there. Shinsuke Nakamura and LA Knight, a random thrown together match for the United States Championship just to get LA Knight and the United States Championship on a PLE, which is fine, but there is no real substantial story going into Survivor Series for either of these men, and one has to wonder what is going on with Nakamura. They brought him back. This is the first singles match he's had tonight against Andrade since April. Is he going to go into Survivor Series basically being used the same way that he was in his feud with Cody Rhodes, in his feud with Seth Rollins, just basically be used to prop others up around him and not really anything substantial as far as Shinsuke Nakamura is concerned? United States Championship gets to be on a PLE. LA Knight is on a PLE in front of 16,000, 17,000 people. WWE's going for that. But Nakamura isn't really the guy that I think everybody is hoping for as far as a story for LA Knight, who continues to do great with the United States Championship, but creative isn't all that great for LA Knight as United States Champion. Women's United States Championship tournament continues. Another quarterfinal match before we get to the semifinals. We got one more next week, and then the semifinals will happen going into the Saturday night's main events, where we will see the United States Champion crowned first time ever for WWE and the women's division. So we had another triple threat match tonight with Lash Legend, Mia Yim, and Piper Niven. We'll go over that. And like I said, we got Jey Uso as well, as far as the bloodline, with Jacob Fatu in the main event. And that was an advantage match for War Games. So that was your main event tonight for Friday Night SmackDown. Not really a lot to dive into tonight, but we will spend a nice chunk of time on the CM Punk and Roman Reigns situation and talk about where all of that dialogue could potentially be going. So let's get into it, guys. I thank you very much for joining me here on the podcast. It is Friday, November 29th, 2024. Hopefully you guys had a great Thanksgiving. Hopefully you guys rested and relaxed. Hopefully you guys got your shopping done, mostly online, I hope, and away from the nonsensical crowds that just go out. You couldn't catch me dead in any of those fucking stores today, man. I did all my shopping, mostly for myself, tonight on Black Friday, and I got myself a couple of things, man. Got myself a new Braves hat. Got myself some new joystick modules for my PlayStation 5 DualSense Edge, because I do not want to encounter stick drift when I'm playing Destiny or Call of Duty. And I just sense that one of these weeks I'll be getting some stick drift, man. I've had this for 2 years now. And yes, I actually found them at GameStop for $19.99. Normally, you got to go to the secondary market, and they're being sold for like $50 each. It's like fucking ridiculous. So I got myself a couple of those, amongst some small knickknacks here and there. So hopefully you guys enjoyed your Thanksgiving and enjoyed your Black Fridays. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. It's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. We uploaded a brand new video today, man. We were hard at work trying to close out the month in a very strong way, and I know we will. Uploaded a video today. Tony Khan continues to keep Rey Fenix behind the AEW prison wall. It's official. Tony Khan will not be using Rey Fenix, as his contract now reportedly goes deep into 2025. Great. Thanks for showing us that you are not the true alternative, Mr. Tony McMahon. If you guys want a nice rant, it's in today's video. Go check it out. I would really appreciate your support on that. Hit the thumbs up. Leave a comment over there. Help get it into the algorithm so everybody understands where the fuck we're coming from. Also, Monday night we were live. Tuesday night Titans was live. Wednesday I was live for Dynamite. Thursday I didn't do anything because I was relaxing for Thanksgiving. Friday, like I said, extra today. We're live tonight. Tomorrow night we'll be live for the Survivor Series. Can't wait. Hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 750 likes today on the SmackDown post. Super chats are open. Hopefully you guys didn't go and spend all your Black Friday funds. If you guys want to hang out with me, make sure you guys get those super chats in. We'll hang out at the end of the show. I got my cold beverage all ready to go. And tonight's show is sponsored by two of my favorite sponsors. Number one, for this Black Friday, we're sponsored by Turtle Beach. Make sure you guys go get your Turtle Beach headset. Go get yourself a Stealth 700 Turtle Beach gaming headset and become a pro. Like all of us VIPs right here on Off the Script. TurtleBeach.com/scripts. Biggest sale of 2024 for Turtle Beach. Go and get yourself a nice gift or a gift for somebody that is in your family that you know games. Excellent, excellent headset. And we're also sponsored by my friends over at Blue Chew. BlueChew.com, code JD at checkout. Make sure you guys go and get your free sample, courtesy of the podcast. All you got to do is pay the $5 shipping and handling. BlueChew.com, code JD at checkout. Appreciate you guys. Let's get into this SmackDown post show. Like I said, not much to dive into outside the Roman Reigns and CM Punk situation. We start things off with the women's War Games, which I still feel is incredibly forced. And the Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan narrative is slowly dying off. At this point, to me, it's already near death, and they need to end it very, very soon. Rhea Ripley's walking around like Batwoman with this face mask. She's got an orbital bone broken, and she will be wrestling at the War Games in Survivor Series. So we got to build for the women's War Games to open SmackDown. Basic stuff. Nothing wrong with basic, but it also really didn't do anything to get you amped and pumped up for what these ladies are going to do. The War Games match is going to be better than every aspect of the build that we've seen so far leading into this women's War Games match. So in the arena, the baby faces in the women's War Games match, they all made their entrance. Inside the ring, Rhea Ripley's got a microphone, and she is the leader, so obviously she spoke first and said, friendship doesn't matter because tomorrow they'll all step into War Games. Ripley says they all have someone they want to get their hands on. Ripley said nobody will be able to stop her team from brutalizing their opponents. Ripley listed their opponents by name, and Naomi chimes in. Naomi, who is my odds-on favorite to win the Women's United States Championship at Saturday night's main event. And she will win it against Bayley. Naomi said Nia Jax had her lap dogs, and they will get what they deserve. Belair then took the microphone and said that all 5 of their opponents can get it. Whatever it is, we'll find out in War Games. Ripley said Liv Morgan will wish she never met Rhea Ripley. Io Sky then would destroy them, and Morgan's music all of a sudden hits, and she walks out with her team. The Women's War Games participants all made their entrance, and they stayed in the aisleway and did not advance towards the ring. Liv Morgan said it's funny how confident all of the baby faces are. Jax mentioned how Bayley and Io tortured Bianca for years, and Io turned her back on Bayley earlier this year. Bianca doesn't even like Bayley. I mean, Nia is not wrong. Nia is calling out the obvious discrepancies on the team of Rhea Ripley. Io turned her back on Bayley. That was the Women's Championship match at WrestleMania this year. Now they're on the same team. Bianca does not like Bayley because of what happened with Damage Control, and now they're teaming together. What's going to happen there? We'll see. I'm sure there'll be some drama inside the Women's War Games match just based on the babyface side alone. So Jax said they're going to implode before they even make it to War Games. Naomi told Nia Jax to shut up. Bayley noted how Jax is manipulating Tiffany Stratton, and Jax might not have any friends coming out of War Games. Morgan says they are a united front. Morgan followed that up by pointing out how Cargill got attacked, and it is suspicious that Bayley is not on the War Games team, or now is on the War Games team, and Cargill is not. Sorry. So Cargill got taken out last week, and everybody is now claiming it's either Naomi or Bianca or Bayley. There's a lot of people pointing the finger at one of the baby faces after last week's attack on Jade Cargill, which there is rumors going around as to what is true and what is false. Dave Meltzer put out a report that Jade Cargill could be out upwards towards 3 months and that it's not uber serious. Mike Johnson, the PW Insider, put out a report saying that she's not injured at all and it's all one big work and a one big storyline. We don't really know. I am leaning towards believing Mike Johnson and not believing Dave Meltzer. So Morgan followed up, like I said, pointing out how Cargill got attacked, and it's suspicious now that Bayley is on the War Games team. Ripley said Morgan will soon not be able to hide behind anyone because there is nowhere to run inside the War Games cage. Morgan responded by saying she's going to break Rhea Ripley's face on the steel cage. Ripley laughed and says she's going to cave Liv Morgan's face in so badly that Dirty Dom won't even want to look at her anymore. So the heels teased rushing to the ring, but Morgan held everybody back. The babyfaces ran after the heels, and the two teams brawled in the entranceway, and officials broke it up as Rhea Ripley's music hits as she was the lone one standing to end the segment. Very simple, very basic, nothing too overly offensive, nothing egregious here. Very Vince McMahon-like segment to sell a final push into a multi-person match going into the pay-per-view. Everything still seems forced. It does. Everything definitely feels last minute. And I know some of these women have not been feuding, for just a few weeks. It's been a long time. Tiffany's been aligned with Nia Jax for several months. Naomi and Bayley have been battling Nia Jax in SummerSlam. I mean, it's not like this shit happened overnight. Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, they've been battling all year. It's been one long, drawn-out storyline. Naomi, like I mentioned, has got her issues with Nia Jax. Candice LeRae is now involved. This has been a little thing for the last month and a half. She's had her problems with Bayley and Naomi. Io, I don't know why Io's there, but I'm not going to complain why Io is there. Io doesn't really have any problem with all these women, but she's there because Bianca and Io respect each other. Nobody's going to complain that Io is in War Games. This is her 6th War Games match. She's been in every women's War Games match that has been in WWE. So Io is going to be there just because of that factoid alone. But some of these women have had long, drawn-out feuds. The thing is, Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley's feud has definitely died off. You know it needs to come to a conclusion any week now. I would end it immediately. Bayley and Naomi against Nia Jax. You can call it a story if you want. I don't know what the real story is outside the fact that they don't like each other. There isn't any good story coming out of that, so I don't really think it constitutes a War Games. That's why people are on the side of, oh, this feels rushed. Oh, this doesn't feel important. WWE basically took all of their biggest women's feuds and mashed them together while at the same time bending their brand split rules to make sure that this makes sense for the viewing audience. That's all they did. No rhyme or reason. They needed a women's War Games match, and we're going to get a women's War Games match by taking everything that's happened on WWE TV and we're going to mash it together. It's like mashed potatoes at Thanksgiving. Not necessarily the most intriguing concept. I would have been okay with a traditional 5-on-5 elimination match. I thought that could have been the way to go. In fact, I probably think that would be a better story to tell and see play out outside of War Games. We only needed one War Games, and now we got two, and it's mandatory that WWE does two. But I will say, the women's War Games match last year was better than the men. I don't know if that's going to be the case this year. We'll see. But the women's War Games match is going to be so much better than the story we got going into Survivor Series with all 10 of these women. It's going to be a better match than what we've seen on television, no doubt about it. As far as Tiffany Stratton goes, a lot of people have been very just over it as far as the cash-in is concerned. Teasing cash-ins at the last several pay-per-views, nothing happened. Coming out and teasing a cash-in only to play it off that she was out there to help Nia Jax. I am going with a Tiffany Stratton cash-in. I do think that we get, finally, Tiffany Stratton walking out with a women's championship. And no, she will not be cashing in on Liv Morgan. She will be cashing in on Nia Jax after Rhea Ripley's team wins and Nia Jax is incapacitated. Tiffany Stratton's going to walk out the new WWE Women's Champion. And she will be leading Friday Night SmackDown. And then soon thereafter, I'm already getting cold chills thinking about it, the android Charlotte Flair will be making her return back to WWE, and you will be seeing that set up for WrestleMania. We're going to get a cash-in. I don't know how that's going to play out inside the War Games, but we need something substantial to happen, especially if that's going to be the first match that we see at 6 o'clock open Survivor Series. Being that there's no real story outside of Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, I do think that the element of surprise inside a War Games is going to be Tiffany Stratton cashing in that contract when the match is over. And you know how WWE loves their first-time evers. We never had a cash-in inside of War Games. We had a cash-in at WrestleMania. We've had cash-ins the night of Money in the Bank. We never had a cash-in at Survivor Series inside a War Games match. So you know WWE is going to be all over that. It's going to be all over social media, and they're going to plug the shit out of that and hype the shit out of that. So I could absolutely see that happening. Tiffany's going to walk out the new women's champion, and Team Rhea is going to go on and become victorious at Survivor Series, which I hope thereafter soon Rhea Ripley takes that championship off of Liv Morgan, and we can move on from the current set of champions and not look back. Shinsuke Nakamura. He went one-on-one with Andrade El Idolo. Andrade has fallen off the face of the earth after that great 7-match series with Carmelo Hayes that resulted in a United States Championship triple threat match with LA Knight at Crown Jewel. We haven't really seen much of Andrade. Now, I think he's great. I'd like to see a little bit more of him. But if we have a brand split that isn't really going to keep the brand split intact, and there's going to be a little bit more of a laxed environment, why can't we get Andrade going over to Monday Night Raw and kind of testing his skills against some of the guys over there? Because the more we see it, there really isn't anything for Andrade to do on Friday Night SmackDown now that he's basically been taken care of by Carmelo Hayes and LA Knight. Maybe Monday Night Raw could be a great environment for him. Shinsuke Nakamura, he's got this new darker character. He's dressing like a zombie out there. He's like the Walking Dead version of Shinsuke Nakamura. It's like The Undertaker, but Shinsuke Nakamura. He's got new theme music. It's kind of a take on his old theme music, but a little darker, a little bit more brooding. I don't know why we need to change the theme music because Nakamura has always had a banger theme music. I don't know why we need to change things that aren't broken. It's very bizarre to me. But they did change his theme music unnecessarily. He's got a new gimmick. He's got a new look. He's got these red battle lines drawn over his eyeballs. He's got black on his face. He looks like death. And there was no way that he was losing his first match since April, especially if he's going into a pay-per-view challenging for the second biggest title on the brand. Nakamura made his entrance to a slowed down, more ominous theme music of his signature theme music. Nakamura controlled early. Andrade came off the top rope with a big crossbody. Nakamura came back with a series of shoulder blocks and some typical Nakamura strikes. Nakamura then ran at Andrade. Andrade rolled up Nakamura. Now he's on the outside. Andrade ran into a boot from Shinsuke. We go back inside. Andrade dropkicked Nakamura over the top, back to the outside. He then went up top, hits a moonsault that barely connected on Nakamura, and we go into a commercial break. Nakamura comes back from the break in control. Andrade starts making a slight babyface comeback, dragon screw leg whip. He then ran at Nakamura, but Nakamura countered, and the two ended up on the second turnbuckle where Andrade elbowed Nakamura down to the canvas. Andrade went up top, hit his moonsaults, and then the second moonsault, like he usually does when he misses the first one. So he got a near fall off of that. He then sets up for his finish, which he calls the message. Nakamura worked out of it. He went for a big knee strike. Andrade countered with a back elbow for a 2. Andrade executed the first of 2 of the 3 amigos, and then he went for the third one, and Andrade suplexed Nakamura into the turnbuckles. Andrade went for the double knees, the Meteora. Sure, somewhere, Mercedes was smiling from ear to ear, being that it's her favorite maneuver, the double knees, the Meteora. Nakamura moved, and at the same time that Nakamura moved out of the way, he pulled the top turnbuckle pad off. And when Andrade went into the corner, Nakamura moved with the turnbuckle pad, and Andrade hit the exposed steel. So he was knocked out. He slowly gets to his knees. Nakamura finished Andrade with the Kinshasa, and that was basically all she wrote for Andrade. 1, 2, 3, and Nakamura wins his first match since April. After the match, LA Knight tried to run out, because the last 2 times, Nakamura ran out after LA Knight and put the boots to him. So LA Knight figured he would try the same tactic on Nakamura, but it did not work for Mr. LA Knight. Nakamura quickly sidestepped LA Knight, and he spit black mist in the eyes and in the face of LA Knight, and he sold the shit out of it. Officials and referees came over as if this guy was fucking mortally poisoned here. And that is the way the segment came to a close. I like Nakamura. I like the new look. I do. I just don't trust WWE Creative to do much with it. I'm already foreseeing a loss at Survivor Series. But I don't really know where this goes outside of what we've gotten so far on TV. There really isn't any true story to this. I mean, does anybody know why Shinsuke Nakamura is targeting LA Knight? I mean, I didn't really hear much of an explanation as to why he's all of a sudden targeting LA Knight. This is going to end the same way that his feud with Cody Rhodes ended. This is going to end the same way that his feud with Seth Rollins ended. It's going to end in a loss for Nakamura. Now, does the Black Mist, is that going to affect LA Knight over time? Is Nakamura going to lose at Survivor Series, but in actuality, he's going to win? Because the Black Mist is going to deteriorate LA Knight over time, like it does when the House of Black spits somebody with the Black Mist. Julia Hart always spit Black Mist into someone's face, and they slowly became not themselves over time. Are we going to see the same thing with that? I don't know. There's got to be something here. Outside that, I'm going with LA Knight retaining the United States Championship, and we move on from this very quick and meaningless feud with Nakamura coming back to TV. Can't put much stock in Nakamura when WWE hasn't put much stock in his creative. Solo Sikoa. He was backstage with the Bloodline. Nick Aldis walked in. Aldis basically laid down the law and said everybody is banned from ringside when Jacob Fatu goes one-on-one with Jey Uso in the War Games Advantage match. Solo Sikoa said, yes, boss. He understands. Now, if there's one guy in his bloodline that he should trust wholeheartedly so that they don't need to be out there, he's got the right guy in the main event against Jey Uso. Jacob Fatu doesn't need any help, and Jacob Fatu is a fucking beast. Tommaso Ciampa. He was backstage yelling at my guy Johnny Gargano. Tommaso Ciampa brought up how Gargano's family thinks they're losers. And Ciampa's family thinks they're losers. Maybe this is what they were talking about at Thanksgiving dinner. Why are you guys such losers? Must have not been a very jovial Thanksgiving dinner. Ciampa called out Alex Shelley and said his friendship with Gargano means more to Gargano than getting the WWE Tag Team Championships back. Ciampa said Gargano has 1 week to figure it all out. And if Johnny Gargano does not, it is going to be Tommaso's way. It's going to be Ciampa's way on how they handle things. Now, I don't know what that means. Are they going to just go about it and Johnny Gargano is going to follow suit? Or does that mean Tommaso Ciampa is going to dump the dead weight and then just go about business on his own? I don't think we're in the business to split up tag teams right now. So I am going to assume that next week, Johnny Gargano kind of follows Tommaso Ciampa and realizes tag team championships are most important. Otherwise, what the fuck are you doing here? Ciampa wants Goldie. And Johnny Gargano should know all about how Ciampa reacts and changes when he's got gold on the mind. Don't make the same mistake he made several years ago, bro. You know what the end result is going to be. Kevin Owens. He's wrestling Cody Rhodes at Saturday night's main event in 2 weeks, December 14th, Long Island, New York, at the Nassau Coliseum. I will be live after that show is over, and I'm very excited about that. Going to be a great night. Rumor is WWE is going all in on the old school vibe and the old school feel, old school music. It's going to be awesome. Jimmy Hart's going to be there. Jesse Ventura is rumored to be there. Going to be a great show, man. Can't wait to cover it. That's going to be your main event, Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. A vignette aired with Kevin Owens backstage. He said he would explain why he's in the right. He went back to 2021 and documented his history with Roman Reigns, including Reigns hitting him with a golf cart at the Royal Rumble. He said Reigns and his bloodline handcuffed him in 2023 to the ropes and ordered the Usos to superkick him over and over and over again as they manipulated Sami Zayn. Now, he didn't mention Sami Zayn, but that is exactly what happened. He said Cody was in the building. He did not come out. He did not help. Just another log onto the fire there by Kevin Owens, man. Kevin Owens really knows how to make Cody hurt emotionally. He's got a point. Cody was so upset about everything that's happened to him, and he wants to finish his story, and he wants to end Roman Reigns, and he wants to end the reign of Roman Reigns. Where was he at that moment? Where was he? He won the Royal Rumble, right? Nowhere to be found was Cody Rhodes. He said when Reigns needed someone by his side at Bad Blood, though, this year, Cody was right there by his side. He said that's just 3 of the dozens of examples that show Cody deserves everything he has coming to him. He says he's going to turn the American Nightmare into the Canadian Dream. Love that line. The American Nightmare is going to be turned into the Canadian Dream. Every single time Kevin Owens speaks on this situation, Kevin Owens is 100% factually correct. Kevin Owens has not lied. Kevin Owens has not skewed the truth. Kevin Owens has always been upfront and honest and has called back to memories that absolutely play into him being right, dating back to 2021. Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens have this fight forever vibe to them. Roman Reigns, one of Roman Reigns' greatest opponents, one of his greatest rivals, throughout his WWE career. It's Kevin Owens. And everything that Kevin Owens has said has been proven correct. Cody Rhodes can sit there and give you whatever excuse he wants to give you. He can get animated, he could get angry, he could get bass in his voice, and he can get all fucking, babyface, valiant babyface, charging towards the despicable heel, face of the company, WWE champion Cody Rhodes. He could ride his horse on all of those things. But it does not mean anything at the end of the day, because Kevin Owens is right. You may be looking at it from a casual fan's point of view. Oh, I have to cheer Cody Rhodes because that's who WWE wants us to cheer for. That's who the story calls us to cheer for, because Cody's the good guy. Everybody loves Cody Rhodes. He's the good guy. And Kevin Owens is getting boos. He's the bad guy. Everybody sings Cody's song, so we have to cheer him. Kevin Owens comes out and nobody cheers him. We have to boo him. We have to go for Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is right. Cody Rhodes is the guy that we should side with. Cody Rhodes is the guy that we want to see win. No to all that. At the end of the day, it might not look like it. It might not sound like it. Kevin Owens is the babyface. Cody Rhodes is the heel. And we made a good point on Tuesday Night Titans. The fact that this match is not happening at Survivor Series, I find it to be very bizarre that Cody Rhodes is not at Survivor Series. And we discussed this with Solid Monster on Tuesday night, and he made a good point. We're talking about Survivor Series. We're talking about how we would go about this. My prediction was they do this match unsanctioned. We don't give Kevin Owens a championship match yet. He doesn't deserve one after what he did to Randy Orton and the pile driver, band move, put him out. You don't really reward somebody with a WWE championship match like that. Even if Cody wants to do it, you don't do it. It just doesn't make any sense. Lights out, unsanctioned match. WWE's got nothing to do with it. Go beat the shit out of each other. Or go beat the shit out of each other. Kevin Owens would win in a non-title match, giving him a win over Cody Rhodes. We'd do the rematch at Saturday night's main event. This time the title on the line because he had beaten the champion at Survivor Series. Then that's when we see Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens would lose. After beating Cody at Survivor Series, you would lose that title match. Randy Orton comes in, screws KO, helps Cody, and Cody retains. That's where we thought everything was going. They're not doing it at Survivor Series. The reason why they're not doing it at Survivor Series, the only logical reason why they're not doing it at Survivor Series is because Survivor Series is in Canada. Canada is Kevin Owens' country. Why would you want Kevin Owens to be right and then have all the crowd reaction basically tell you that he's right? You don't want to put Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes in a match for the title at Survivor Series when we all know Kevin Owens is right and then double down on him being right. WWE does not want to put Cody Rhodes in a situation that he is going to look like the bad guy and look like he is in the wrong. They want to keep that at a minimum. See, we can say that here. We're not dumb. Cody's in the wrong. Kevin Owens is in the right. WWE doesn't want that presented on TV from the fans to you sitting at home. They want it to be the way that it is right now. So they're doing it on Long Island. They're doing it in New York, Cody country, doing it here in the States. So I found that to be very interesting, why they made that decision and why Cody, the WWE champion, mind you, is not defending or even wrestling at Survivor Series, which I hope in turn means that WWE's got some big shit planned, because Cody, your biggest guy, is not wrestling at the show. Hopefully something else is planned elsewhere. But Kevin Owens is right. And this was great. Great stuff from KO. Great stuff from KO, as always. Speaking of Cody Rhodes and Carmelo Hayes, non-title match. This went 11 minutes, typical for a Cody and Carmelo match on TV. Very good stuff here. Went about 11 minutes or so. Like I said, this match was brought together because Carmelo Hayes is speaking up for the locker room and basically said after last week's face-to-face with Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes that the locker room is murmuring and mumbling, talking about how Cody Rhodes is wrong. Now, Kevin Owens is right. Cody got so defensive that he wanted to fight the number 1 draft pick this week on Friday Night SmackDown. Cody made his entrance. Melo made his entrance, microphone in hand. Halfway down the aisle, Melo's basically saying, Cody is wrong, KO is right. Cody obviously fuming because every time he hears that, he gets a little bit more angry. Who needs enemies when you got friends like Cody Rhodes? Ooh. Melo knows how to get those nice zingers in there. So, Melo and Cody at the start of this bell trade strikes. Melo then slaps Cody, worked the side headlock. Cody clothesline Melo over the top rope, hit a suicide dive to the outside. Back inside the ring, Cody stepped into the ring and Melo kicked Cody's knee. Cody came right back with a disaster kick, and we go to a commercial break. Show comes back from break. Cody cut Melo off as Melo went to the top rope, probably going for nothing but net. Cody lifted Melo and held him there for a little bit before superplexing him from the second rope. Melo came back and landed a tilt-a-whirl facebuster, and then he tried to attempt to lift Cody, but Cody countered into a running power slam. Cody then worked a figure 4. Melo eventually got the rope break. They both get back to their feet. They're trading shots left and right. Cody went for the second rope, but Melo cut Cody off and kicked Cody in the back of the neck. Melo suplexed Cody, and he went for a cover off that for a 2 count. He then went to the top rope again. Cody ducked a splash attempt, and after a couple of failed moves here, Cody landed a Cody cutter and then lifted Melo up and delivered a crossroads. Only one crossroads, and it got the job done. Spiked Melo right on the top of his head. 1, 2, 3, and the WWE champion was successful here going into the Survivor Series. Not much to it. Not much to it. Melo has had a very good run on the main roster, and a lot of that, the majority of that, has come from the Best of 7 series with Andrade. But what did it really get him? A couple banger TV matches showing what you can do in the ring. But he ultimately lost, and so did Andrade. So now he's in this thing with Cody Rhodes. Andrade lost to Shinsuke Nakamura earlier in the night tonight. What exactly are we doing with Carmelo Hayes? I don't really know. We saw this match the day that the draft happened. Number 1 draft pick shooting his shot against the WWE champion, and they don't just give anybody that spot. A lot of people wondered why that random match was made out of nowhere. Carmelo shot his shot. Cody said, sure. He's always up for wrestling new, fresh, young talent. And Carmelo lost on his first night in. Didn't really do much until the Best of 7. Really showcased what he could do. Now he's in this match with Cody again. This is the second time this year that they wrestled. Again, you're not going to put anybody in that spot this year. Let's see what you can do this time compared to what you did in April. But again, I have to ask, what did this really accomplish? What did this really prove to everybody with Carmelo Hayes? I don't really get it. What are we waiting for on Carmelo? Is the creative so low right now that everybody's just in a waiting period? I'm wondering what we're going to do with somebody like Carmelo, who was obviously drafted to the main roster for a very specific reason. He's the future of the company, or at least one of the future pieces to the company. Carmelo on SmackDown, Braun Breaker on Monday Night Raw. What are these guys going to do on the main roster heading into WrestleMania? Braun Breaker's the Intercontinental Champion. Melo seems to be lagging behind here. So I wonder what's going to happen with him going into Rumble season and into WrestleMania season. He's way too good to be sitting alone and sitting stagnant in the middle of nothing. I just wonder what we're going to do with him. The reason why we're all here. CM Punk and Roman Reigns sit down with each other with Paul Heyman moderating. They went to Reigns and Heyman sitting at a table with dramatic music playing in the background. This was very Goodfellas-esque, Godfather-esque, very cinematic. Reigns was getting angry with every passing second because CM Punk was not there yet. He's late, and Roman Reigns feels like his time is wasted. Roman Reigns asked the wise man where Punk was. This guy keeps me waiting, Reigns said. That doesn't work for me. So Paul Heyman is being referred to as the wise man by Roman Reigns. And Paul Heyman answered Roman Reigns, yes, my tribal chief. So he's still acknowledging Roman Reigns as his tribal chief, as he should. As he should. The last time we saw Paul Heyman, or the last few times that we saw Paul Heyman on television, he did not acknowledge Solo Sikoa as his tribal chief. And the night that he got powerbombed, he basically told Solo to his face, I do not acknowledge you as my tribal chief, which is the result of the powerbomb inside Madison Square Garden. So yes, everybody wondering why Paul Heyman is still calling him tribal chief. It's because Paul Heyman always referenced Roman Reigns as the tribal chief. Punk showed up and sat down. He looked at his watch and says, I don't have a whole lot of time. Reigns said, well, good thing you showed up late. I don't have a whole lot of time. Good thing you showed up late. Punk says he didn't show up for Roman Reigns. He showed up for the wise man. Reigns said, let's get one thing straight. I don't need your help. Punk says he was there for Paul, not him. Reigns says he's happy for him, but I don't like your tone and I don't like your attitude. I don't like you, and I damn sure don't want to team with you at War Games. Heyman said, my tribal chief. Solo has had us in checkmate since the Friday after WrestleMania. That's when everything went to shit. Tama Tonga debuted, Solo Sikoa basically took over the bloodline, and Roman Reigns was nowhere to be found. Paul Heyman had to watch this massacre happen. They took out Jimmy, and there was nothing he can do about it. He says if they don't accept Punk's help, it's all over. Heyman looked over to Punk and said, in all fairness, if you don't help tomorrow night and Solo turns back Roman Reigns and puts an end to the bloodline, you're next. He's coming after you. So he basically told CM Punk that if he does not play like a good little boy and he doesn't help Roman Reigns, that the bloodline's going to come after him, all 5 of them. He said all 5 of them will come after you because Solo knows you're the threat. He said divided, they all fall to Solo, but united, at best, they survive. Punk leaned in and told Reigns that he doesn't care, that he doesn't like his attitude. And he said for the 3rd time, he's not there for Roman Reigns. He's there for Paul. He says he wants revenge for all the people that were wondering why CM Punk is in this storyline now, why it doesn't make any sense. CM Punk basically told you, sit the fuck down, geek, and let me fucking explain to you why this makes sense. CM Punk basically said he doesn't care if he doesn't like his attitude. I am not here for you. I'm here for Paul. I want revenge for what Solo and his crew did to my friend. And all of that was basically thrown at you June 21, 2024 in Chicago when Paul Heyman asked CM Punk to take him back to Monday Night Raw with him. Please take me with you. So he said if Reigns wants to revisit this conversation, this is Punk speaking now. If Reigns wants to revisit this conversation, just me and you, I'm all ears. Reigns said one time. Punk said one time. Punk looked at Heyman and said, one favor. Now, we all thought that when CM Punk showed up last week at the end of SmackDown that this was the favor. Apparently it was not. So, one favor, said Punk to Paul Heyman. Reigns asked Punk if he owes him a favor. So Reigns thinks he has to give a favor back to CM Punk. Punk said, "No, you don't owe me anything, but rather my friend, our wise man, will owe me a favor." He got up and walked away. That was it. Reigns said to Paul Heyman, "Wise man, yes, my tribal chief." Heyman turned to him and said, "Yes, my tribal chief." Reigns says, "What's the favor?" Heyman said, "My tribal chief, let's get through War Games tomorrow night, and then we'll have all the time in the world to talk about it." Heyman looked down as Reigns glared at him. Heyman looked up, gave this very untrustworthy look. He was obviously shaken by Roman Reigns staring a fucking hole, a big hole, through him because Reigns' eyesight did not go anywhere else but Paul Heyman. Now everybody's asking what the favor is. What is CM Punk asking for to be inside War Games tomorrow night? He's back because Paul Heyman called in a favor. He needs a favor. CM Punk is not doing this for free. He obviously asked Paul Heyman for something, and Paul Heyman agreed for him to be on the War Games match, or in the War Games match on Team Bloodline at Survivor Series. So what is the favor? What is the favor that Paul Heyman promised CM Punk? Is it? The first thing that I thought of was after War Games, Paul Heyman leaves Roman for CM Punk, and Paul Heyman assumes position as Punk's wise man on Monday Night Raw. The first thing I thought of. It's a possibility. I don't know where any of this is going. Second thing I thought of. We all know at some point we're going to get Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes in a ring together for the WWE Championship. You know what's coming. Match number 3 is coming. Whether it's one-on-one or if it's Roman, Rock, and Cody. They're going to be in the ring together at some point. One-on-one, facing each other. Was the favor, when Roman Reigns wins the WWE Championship back, if you're the wise man, I'm getting first dibs at Roman Reigns and the WWE Championship. It's a possibility. You know CM Punk wants the WWE Championship or a World Championship in general. I don't know. Does it have anything to do with the WrestleMania main event? Does it have something to do with Seth Rollins, being that Roman and Seth Rollins have a rich history together? Is something happening there between Punk and Roman where he may need Roman's help in regards to Seth Rollins? I don't know. Outside that, I can't really think of anything else as far as what the favor could be from Paul Heyman to CM Punk. But the first thing that I thought of was leaving Roman to assume position as Punk's wise man on Monday night. It'd be funny if anything happens in regards to The Rock, and anything here has to do with The Rock. I don't know. But this is great television. Great television. This was one of the best segments that you'll see on WWE TV all year. And when WWE does these types of segments, it is the ultimate sell for whatever the story is that they're telling. In this case, it's Punk, Reigns, War Games, Survivor Series. Excellent segment. Everybody that had a problem with CM Punk now in War Games, I think after tonight, everybody's problems are non-existent. Nobody should have a problem with CM Punk being in War Games. Paul Levesque, we got Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns, we got the people that have been manning this storyline for years. Michael Hayes. There's a very small group of people guiding this story to where it needs to go. I think we've seen enough to know and to trust the people in charge to carry this story out to the end. There is an end. We don't know what the end is. We don't know where the end will come. But there is an end. But whatever happens at War Games is clearly going to bleed into Royal Rumble season and WrestleMania season. Survivor Series is just another chapter in the Bloodline Roman Reigns story. CM Punk and his history with Paul Heyman and everything that happened with Solo Sikoa taking out Paul Heyman, he was the guy that was supposed to be there. That segment did not happen just because it was cool and it was in Chicago and we're going to get Paul Heyman and CM Punk on television together. It happened for a reason. And that reason was last week. Everything happened the way that it was supposed to happen. It was never supposed to be anybody else but CM Punk. And it was never supposed to happen with Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman, Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes. It was always supposed to be CM Punk because of his history with Paul Heyman and what happened with Paul Heyman being taken out by Solo Sikoa at Madison Square Garden. It was always supposed to be CM Punk. And the story there, obviously, seeds are planted for Punk and Roman heading into next year, potentially at SummerSlam. I don't know if we're going to get it at WrestleMania or SummerSlam, but next year, Reigns and Punk is going to happen. All doubt that you had about Punk being in this thing was washed away tonight. And the story going into Survivor Series tomorrow could not be any more exciting. When Punk is on TV, the intensity gets raised, the storytelling gets raised, and the multitude of directions, the unpredictability gets raised. This is what CM Punk is carving his last few chapters of his career out of. Storytelling. CM Punk is not in this thing to have random matches with no meaning. CM Punk is in this thing to make money, to close out his career the way he wants to, and to tell the best fucking stories that we'll be looking back on this shit in 20 years saying, man, that was fucking great. And he's well on his way to doing that because he had the feud of the year with Drew McIntyre all throughout 2024. And now he's already beginning and planting seeds for the best feud of 2025 with Roman Reigns. So, let the man cook. Multitude of directions coming out of War Games tomorrow night. I'm ready. My body's ready. My mind is ready. I love dissecting pro wrestling. I love when things take me in directions that I did not know. We're all fans at the end of the day. We think something's going to happen. It goes in another direction. That's what we're here for. This was a tremendous segment. And the way that they film these things, man, again, when it works that way, there's nothing better on WWE TV. Piper Niven. She went against Mia Yim and Lash Legend. This was a women's United States title tournament match. And the winner here would advance to the semifinals and face the winner of Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, and Elektra Lopez next week on Friday Night SmackDown. That match is taking place. Again, this was not bad. Most of the matches in the Women's United States Championship tournament here have not been bad at all. Actually showcasing some decent action from the ladies. Now, Jade Cargill was not in this thing. She was supposed to be, and Lash Legend took her place. Mia Yim is getting some rub in the women's division as of late. She had that very mini feud with Chelsea Green that ended in a dumpster match. And basically, a lot of the discussion for a mid-card championship was basically born out of that feud between Chelsea Green and Mia Yim. So that's when the discussion really got started, or the rumors, I should say, really got started for a secondary championship on Friday Night SmackDown. Lash Legend doesn't look bad. You know, I always used to rag on her for not looking good at all. You know, she has turned it around somewhat. She's not overly offensive as I remember her being. Some of the gimmick stuff is very cringy, and her mannerisms are very cringy. But you can tell why WWE likes her and why she's on TV in these moments. So this is not the first time that WWE has called upon her to basically fill a spot or perform on the main roster. But this was a good match. It wasn't anything overly special, but it did the job for a triple threat match in this United States title tournament. So we'll pick it up after the commercial break. B-Fab ran out because Chelsea Green was in Piper Niven's corner, and B-Fab has had a problem as of late with Chelsea Green. She ran out and fought Green to the back. Piper Niven was upset because now she doesn't have her insurance policy on the outside. Niven ran into a pump kick from Lash Legend and was inside the ring, and Chelsea disappeared to the back. We go to a commercial break. The show returned, and Piper Niven hit her finish on Michin inside the ring. Lash Legend broke up the pin attempt. Niven then was lifted by Lash, or at least she tried to lift because Niven worked out of it and tackled Lash to the ground. Niven landed a Vader bomb on Lash Legend. Michin broke up the pin attempt. Legend then caught Michin and hit a big backbreaker on her before Niven got back into things. Legend chokeslammed Niven. She went for a cover and got a near fall. Legend was arguing with the referee, and Michin, because of this, took advantage and kicked Lash. Legend then powerbombed Michin for a 2 count, and all 3 women were down. Niven was the first of the 3 to get back to her feet, landed a running senton on both women. Niven ran into a boot from Michin, but Niven then cut off Michin, and Niven was going up top. She set up for the Piper driver off the top rope. Legend broke that spot up. She then headbutted Lash and went for a splash, but Legend moved, and she lifted Piper Niven up in what she calls her Lash extension finish. She nailed it. Looked like Lash Legend was going to win the match. Michin comes out of nowhere and lands a senton on Lash Legend. And then she rolled out of harm's way and went to go pin Piper Niven. And that was basically it. 1, 2, 3. And we got Michin advancing, stealing the win over Piper Niven and Lash Legend in the quarterfinal here of the Women's United States Championship Tournament. Not surprised that Michin won. Piper Niven had a decent performance, but we're not going to have Piper Niven and Chelsea Green in the same tournament. Chelsea is the star of the act. She's in the semifinals against Bayley. And we got Michin here, and I'm assuming we'll get Naomi to win next week. And I do think it's going to be funny. It's going to be very interesting when people are now predicting Tiffany Stratton to win the Women's Championship inside War Games after cashing in, and then she's already involved in the United States Championship Tournament. I wonder how WWE is going to work that out if there is actually a cash-in on Saturday night. Is she going to be the Women's Champion wrestling for a shot at the United States Championship Tournament, or is she going to be replaced by somebody else? I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see that play out. But at the end of the day, I'm going with Naomi. I'm going Naomi Michin. I think Naomi's going to go to the finals. I think Bayley's going to go to the finals. I think we get Naomi and Bayley at Saturday night's main event for the finals of the United States Championship Tournament. That's my prediction. LA Knight. He was backstage. He's being worked on in the trainer's room after the mist to the face by Nakamura. Byron Saxton walked in. Excuse me, LA. Can I have a word, please? This guy's got fucking mist in his eyes, in his face, in his mouth. This fucking geek, Byron Saxton, wants a couple of questions. LA Knight amused him and gave him some time. He could barely see. Knight noted how Nakamura has been gone for a little bit, but now Nakamura's got a big problem. LA Knight says he's going to thrive and continue to be the United States champion. Knight says he'll drop Nakamura on his head and do his catchphrase when the match is over. Yeah. Everybody's saying LA Knight is going to win this match. Great. Probably the one match I'm not invested in whatsoever at Survivor Series. Main event. Jacob Fatu, Jey Uso, advantage match for the men's War Games. Bloodline versus Bloodline. Jacob Fatu, this is actually Jacob Fatu's first singles match in WWE. Gee, I wonder who's going to win this one. No outside interference. Nick Aldis had the Bloodline backstage, told him, nope, Nobody is allowed outside. Jimmy and Sammy were hyping up Jey Uso in Gorilla. Nick Aldis walked up to them. No outside interference. Everyone is banned from ringside. Straight up one-on-one match. No shenanigans. It's so refreshing. Obviously, Jacob Fatu, he got the big win here over the former multi-time tag team champion, former intercontinental champion. Fatu always looks good. Start the match. Two circled each other to start things, then locked up. Fatu pushed Jey. Jey came right back and worked a headlock until Fatu shot Jey off and hit a shoulder block. Fatu yelled, "I love you, Solo!" We love you too, Solo. We love you too, Jacob. Jey clotheslined Fatu over the top rope. Went for a suicide dive, but Fatu caught him and threw Jey into the ring post over the commentary table, and we go to the final commercial break of the evening. Show came back. Jacob Fatu had control. He stomped away on Jey, worked Jey's neck. Jey eventually ran Fatu into the ring post, and Fatu ran at Jey, but Jey moved, and he ran into the ring post to Jacob Fatu. Two guys got to their feet. Jey punched Fatu to the sound of yeet with every punch from the crowd. Jey kicked Fatu, which finally put Fatu down to the mat. Jey followed that up with a hip attack, and he got Jey in a 2 count. Jey came off the second rope. Fatu caught him, slammed Jey before hitting the springboard moonsault for a 2. So Fatu hits Jey with a corner hip attack. He yelled, "I love you, Solo!" again. Jey landed a super kick out of nowhere. Fatu answered with the pop-up Samoan drop, which always looks devastating. Goes for a cover, gets a near fall. Fatu went for the mighty moonsault off the top rope, but Jey got his knees up, hit a spear before heading to the top rope and landing an Uso splash. Fatu kicked out of 2. We actually got "This is awesome" chance. Fatu went to the outside. Jey landed a suicide dive on Jacob Fatu. Crashed into the commentary table. Jey ran towards Fatu. Fatu super kicked Jey. From that moment on, Fatu Samoan dropped Jey on the commentary table, and that was basically all she wrote. Table did not break. Fatu rolled Jey back into the ring, hits a DDT. Followed that up with the mighty moonsault, which is always impressive. And that was enough to get the 1, 2, 3. And Jacob Fatu not only beats Jey Uso in his first singles match on WWE television, but he gives Solo Sikoa and the Bloodline 2.0 the man advantage going into War Games. So every round of War Games, the Bloodline will have a man advantage. It's going to be awesome. Show ended with Solo Sikoa out there with all of the Bloodline 2.0 holding the ones in the air. Again, not much to go off of with this Friday Night SmackDown. It was all basically what was Roman Reigns and CM Punk's face-to-face going to tell us. Everybody was anticipating that sit-down between CM Punk and Roman Reigns. You know, it does suck that it happened on a taped show, but it was absolutely needed going into Survivor Series, so I'm glad that we got it. They gave it enough time. It came off brilliantly. It's very entertaining. And Survivor Series is going to be a great show tomorrow night. I'm going with Bloodline OG. I think they win. I do think we get Rock. I do think we see an appearance from The Rock tomorrow night. I'm going with Team Rhea. And I'm going with Tiffany Stratton cashing in the Money in the Bank briefcase on Nia Jax to become the new WWE Women's Champion. So we got 2 babyface teams winning War Games. That's what I'm going with. I'm going with Gunther to beat Damian Priest and retain the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I'm going LA Knight to retain the United States Championship. And I'm going Braun Breaker to retain the Intercontinental Championship over Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser. Tomorrow night, triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. Thank you guys very much for all your support. Really appreciate you. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Go check out all the content on the channel, man. We uploaded today extra. Go check it out. All the other streams this week, go check them out. Well worth your time. TNT episode 74 was nearly 4 hours long. What other duo in the space is giving you 4 hours of content every Tuesday? Period. Only us. We don't really intend to go 4 hours because it's a lot, but when it's good, it's good. So go check all that stuff out. Hit that thumbs up. Try for 1,000 likes is the goal. I know we'll reach it. If we can get as close to 750 before we end the stream tonight, I would really, really appreciate it. If you guys have made it this far, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you guys thought of the Roman and CM Punk face-to-face. Let me know your predictions on War Games. Sound off in the comment section below. Every comment helps me out and tells YouTube, hey, man, this JD guy is pretty cool, man. We'll push him in the algorithm. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. And tonight's show is sponsored by my great friends over at Blue Chew. Oh, yeah, man. BlueChew.com/nothing. Just code JD. There's no slash. Just BlueChew.com. Code JD at checkout. All you guys got to do is pay the $5 shipping and handling. First impressions, man, are everything. Like Jacob Fatu tonight, man. It's first singles match on WWE television. First impressions. Guy's a superstar. Waiting to break out. Future World Heavyweight Champion right there, man. You guys know what Jacob Fatu is capable of in a singles role now after watching him defeat Jey Uso tonight. But first impressions are super, super important. But what about not only having a good first impression, but having a lasting impression? Even better. It's like that first impression happening all over again, time and time and time again. And that's what Blue Chew is, bro. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but at a fraction of the cost, and it comes in a chewable tablet. Process is very simple. You're going to sign up at BlueChew.com. You're going to consult with one of their online licensed medical providers. And once you are approved, you're going to receive your prescription within days, no questions asked. There's no waiting in line at the doctor's office. There's no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at the pharmacy. It's all prepared and shipped to you right to your front door. It's all done online. You can take them anytime, day or night, plan ahead, be ready whenever that opportunity does arise. Blue Chew wants you to have the confidence you need to perform at your best. They want you to basically finish your story. BlueChew.com, code JD. And I want to thank them for sponsoring the podcast right here on Off the Script. Appreciate you guys. Let's get into these super chats. Michael Krause with a $2 super chat. Good Friday, JD and OTS family. Hope all is well. Same to you, Michael. Hopefully you had a happy Thanksgiving, brother. Michelle with a $4 super chat. KO told no lies, but why isn't he going after Sammy? That is definitely something that needs to be addressed. And I'm sure they will address that. Michelle also says, Roman Punk planted seeds. Favor is a shot with Gunther. What does Paul Heyman have to do with Gunther? Why does everybody think Paul Heyman has that type of stroke to get him a championship match on a brand that he's not even on? Final Boss with a $1.99. Remember the Take Me With You favor in June. Going to be very interesting. Long-term booking. King Mo Jackson with a $1.99. Greatest wrestler to never win a main belt in WWE. The one guy that jumps off the page to me always is Jake the Snake Roberts. Always. I thought at a point in the early 90s that Jake was a WWE champion waiting to happen. Also, King Mo with a $4.99. Mr. JD, between Solo, Jesse, and others you have worked with, which of those guys do you prefer the most? Your thoughts, bro? I don't prefer either one of them. I like working with Jesse on Wednesdays. I think what we do is fantastic, and Jesse's great at what he does. And Jesse's a trooper. He's got to deal with a lot of the bullshit that I bring to the table all the time because I'm just me. But we're great at what we do. We're the #1 fucking stream on Wednesday nights. There's nobody even close. Nobody. And what me and Jason do on Tuesday nights, man, we're fucking killing it. I mean, Tuesday Night Titans is anywhere between 45 and 50,000 views a week. It's like, you got two of the most prominent names in the entire community. We both bust our ass to get where we are today. And then when we come together, man, the results show. The results from our hard work show. And I know Jason, away from YouTube, I do commentary with him at House of Glory every month. He's been over the house to have a couple of drinks. We've been out to dinner. He was at my 40th birthday party. He's one of the best people I know. Not here to compare. Tommy with a 34 months. Happy belated Thanksgiving, JD and OTS family. Looking forward to the Survivor Series tomorrow night. OTS for life. The Joker's voice with a $5 super chat. Hail JD and OTS Cinema. Punk's first appearance on SmackDown and SmackDown in Chicago led to this long-term booking. Got me a Jameson and ginger ale, ice cold. That is a damn good combination. Love me some Jameson and ginger. El Mase with a $10 super chat. Shane McMahon really left that meeting with Tony Khan earlier this year thinking there's no way I'm ever working for this weirdo. I hope they don't get Shane McMahon at all. If Shane's coming in, he needs at least some of what Tony's got as far as creative control. Because it can't get any worse. King Mo Jackson with a $1.99. What's your favorite theme song currently in WWE? Obviously, for very specific reasons. The Judgment Day. Ed Parham with a $9.99. Why wouldn't Tony Khan just force these guys to job like Vince did to punish Triple H for the curtain call? Tony Khan doesn't want any confrontation. He wants to be as far away from the confrontation as possible. He's a coward. He would rather keep you at home, pay you, and not have to see you ever again until you disappear. He's got so many other toys to play with, he does not give a shit. He does not care. Stephen Wade with a $5 super chat. Punk, frame this as I'm in this for Paul and you are in it for you. He planted seeds for Paul to eventually turn on Roman. I could see that. I could see that absolutely. That's why I said the first thing that I thought of was Paul Heyman leaving Roman for CM Punk. What's the favor? You don't deserve this, geek. You may be right. He's in it for Roman. Roman hasn't changed. Roman is the same guy, same attitude, same ego. And now he's using everybody to get back what he wants. And it's not about everybody else. It's not a unit. It's not a family. It's all about Roman. Punk is going to be the better conscience and realize that this is not a different Roman Reigns and that Paul Heyman, if he continues to hang around him, it is going to be more of the same result. And Johnny with 18 months. Thank you for 18 months in the VIP section, Johnny. He says, JD, you the best. I know. Thanks, Johnny. Guys, that's it for tonight's SmackDown. I've exhausted all my thoughts. Now I rest for Survivor Series tomorrow, and we fucking smash it tomorrow night, man. I'm going to need all you guys times 5 tomorrow night for Survivor Series, man. It's going to be a big night. I'm expecting a big crowd in the venue. We got the kitchen stocked. We got the top shelf liquor ready to go. It's going to be a big night. Can't wait. Thank you guys for a great stream tonight. I'm going to now relax on my Friday evening. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the Survivor Series. Follow me on social media for all the latest. I'll be live tweeting my thoughts and reactions to War Games tomorrow night. So make sure you guys follow me on social media at JD from NY206. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Go check out all the other content on the channel. There's plenty of it. Plenty of it. Including today's extra on Ray Phoenix and Tony Khan. Nice rant in there. Also, news on Drew McIntyre's return, Alexa Bliss's return, and what my thoughts are on the Jade Cargill work. Go check out my sponsors, man. BlueChew.com, code JD at checkout, and TurtleBeach.com/script. Biggest sale of the year happening for Black Friday. Go get yourself a beautiful new headset. Go get yourself some Blue Chew on courtesy of the podcast for free. And I will see you guys right back here with more Off the Script. Tomorrow we got Survivor Series. We're going to war inside the venue, man. War Games tomorrow night live on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.
Let